Hello and welcome to TTV News with some latest events in TayNinhTV province, and now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, on November 8, delegates of the Provincial People's Council, including Ms. Trần Thị Thanh Hằng, Deputy Head of the Organization Commissions of the Provincial Party Committee, Mr. Võ Quốc Thắng, Permanent Deputy Secretary of Tân Châu District Party Committee, Ms. Phan Thị Thùy Vân, Chairwoman of TayNinhTV Provincial Women's Union, and representatives of Tân Châu District People's Council had a meeting with voters in Suối Ngô, Cam Miệu.
At the meeting, voters proposed many issues such as people have to go out to buy medicine as going to medical examination with health insurance at communal health stations. Many people buy voluntary health insurance card for more than 2 months, but still don't get it to visit the doctor. People change their land use right certificates, which have expired but haven't been completed for more than 7 months. The health insurance regime for the relatives of soldiers enlisted in 2021 but still not available until 2022. Slow construction progress of Road DT 794 from Suối Ngô to Tân Đông Cam Miệu affects people's travel. The relevant authorities should put the environment first before allowing companies to operate in the Cam Miệu. On behalf of the delegation of the Provincial People's Council, district and local authorities, answer a number of voters' opinions and recorded some comments to reflect to relevant sectors and levels for early consideration and settlement according to the law.
In the afternoon of November 9, the Department of Technology Application and Development under the Ministry of Science and Technology coordinated with the Department of Science and Technology of TayNinhTV province to organize a seminar to review the activities of the block Application of Advances in Science and Technology in the Mekong Delta in 2014-2022 period. Attending the seminar, there was Mr. Phạm Thế Dũng, Deputy Director of the Department of Technology Application and Development under the Ministry of Science and Technology. Speaking at the opening of the seminar, Ms. Nguyễn Thị Kim Quyên, Director of the Department of Science and Technology, said that the cooperation and linkage among members of the bloc is indispensable and necessary in the transfer of science and technology applications in the whole region. It appreciates the role of Meta Bloc in cooperation, finding solutions, transferring science and technology applications into life, contributing to economic development in the Mekong Delta in particular and in the whole region. This seminar is an opportunity to review the results achieved by the members of the bloc and links to transfer science, technology, and innovation applications in the coming time. There are now 24 members in the bloc coming from 21 provinces and cities in Mekong Delta, Southeast and Hanoi. In 2014-2022 period, the linkage activity of the centers of Meta Bloc promotes the role of linkage in the development of science and technology in localities with certain similar characteristics, build a bridge for information exchange between the centers of application and centers of biotechnology, as well as between the center and the governing agencies, institutes, experts, scientists. Thereby, it performs the central function of application centers as connecting technology supply and demand. Through the activity of the bloc, it creates conditions for the locality to invest in the science and technology sector, as well as for the operation, material and technical facilities of application centers in particular. During the November regular meeting of the Provincial People's Committee, the Department of Transport and Communications presented a plan to organize traffic at intersections with the risk of congestion and potential traffic accidents. According to the explanation of the Department of Transport, there are 5 intersections in the province that are proposed to be implemented in the period of 2023-2030. Design options in each phase to ensure that they meet the requirements of socio-economic development in accordance with the development orientation and planning of the province in attracting the development of industrial parks, tourism, agriculture, and transportation in the future. Intersection 10 Trường Nam intersection in Water, TayNinhTV is a hotspot that often happens to be congested and causes traffic insecurity, which people have paid special attention to and recommended a lot in the past time. The Department of Transport and Communications has proposed two options for the Provincial People's Committee to consider. Option 1 is to cut a part of the roundabout and adjust the height of Trần Nữ Vương Road branch. At the same time, arrange an overpass to serve students and arrange two parking lots on April 30th Street near the gate of Trần Hưng Đạo Secondary School to ensure safety for parents to pick up and drop off students. Option 2 for Trường Nam intersection is to build a one-way two-lane underpass on the April 30 road from the center of TayNinhTV to Midmore Junction and arrange an overpass for people and two parking lots near the school. The plan to build an underground tunnel will have a much higher total investment than option 1. Leaders of the Provincial People's Committee and leaders of the departments and branches spent a lot of time commenting on options for this intersection. In particular, many opinions suggest that underground tunnels should not be built during this period because the cost is quite large, but the efficiency is not guaranteed. The plan to adjust the roundabout area and adjust the height of Trần Nữ Vương Street received many unanimous opinions, but it is recommended that the department continue to consider whether the expansion and route clearance will be feasible and difficult. Leaders of the Provincial People's Committee proposed that the Department of Transport and Communications should study more plans to relocate Trần Hưng Đạo Secondary School from this area. In addition, there are 4 other intersections proposed by the Department of Transport for implementation in the period of 2023-2030 and 7 intersections proposed for implementation after the period of 2030. Mr. Nguyễn Thanh Ngọc, Chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, requested the Department of Transport and the consulting unit to focus on assessing the current situation and highlighting the shortcomings of the current traffic hotspots, prioritizing investment, and completely handling dangerous spots, cause urgent traffic safety first, do not invest in spread.
Recently, Trang Bang Town People's Committee held a meeting to implement the plan to organize the 4th Westic Rice Paper-Making Culture and Tourism Festival in 2022, chaired by Mr. Ha Minh Giao, Vice Chairman of Trang Bang Town People's Committee. The opening ceremony will take place at 6 p.m. on December 10 at Trang Bang Town Stadium, and the festival will last for December 10 to 18, 2022. With the theme Festival of Culture, the profession of making the Westic rice paper, connecting the conference to promote investment, trade, tourism, and introduce local products. New rural achievements of Trang Bang Town Tây Ninh Province in 2022. This year's festival is organized with a scale of about 200 booths, divided into 5 main areas including exhibition, food, flower and fruit, as well as fruit sale, local product introduction and display, commercial booth. The festival is an event held every 2 years in order to preserve and promote the value of the national intangible cultural heritage of Trang Bang the Westic rice paper making, thereby honoring the artisans who are practicing, preserving, and promoting the unique values of the Westic rice paper making craft at the locality.
Dear audience, implementing the decision of the Director of the Provincial Public Security Department, on November 9, the Traffic Police Office deployed 2 more control teams to handle violations of traffic order and safety at a point on the roads in U Minh Châu and Tân Châu districts. Up to now, there are 4 control teams in the province. According to the decision, 2 teams will come into operation from November 9, 2022 to December 31, 2022. The first team is located at the intersection of Provincial Road 7H1B and Bourbon Street, Tân Hưng Crossroads of Group 17, Tân Đông Hamlet, Tân Đông Kham Mueang, Tân Châu District. The second team is located at Bầu Cỏ, Suối Đá Street in Group 8, Phước Bình Trưa Hamlet, Suối Đá Kham Mueang, Dum Châu District. Two teams will focus on checking and controlling vehicles to avoid the two rivers established checkpoints to handle overloaded cargo vehicles, as well as other violations of traffic order and safety. In addition to control at one point, the task of teams is to patrol the motorway to handle other violations such as excessive alcohol concentration, not driving license, carrying in excess of the prescribed weight, not wearing a helmet, to ensure traffic order and safety in the checkpoints as well as the surrounding areas. On the first day of the launching, most drivers are aware that driving must comply with the provisions of the road traffic law. Previously, on September 28, 2022, Tayninh Police also established two control teams to handle violations of traffic order and safety in the area of Dầu Tiếng Lake, Yum Dầu District. After more than a month of operation, these two teams have been effective, reducing overloaded vehicles, ensuring traffic order and safety in the area. Ladies and gentlemen, in recent years, the party committees and authorities at all levels of Tayninh City have not stopped trying to take care of policy families who have contributed to the revolution in the area. Since then, the life and spirit of policy families, relatives, and people with meritorious services has been increasingly improved and enhanced. Currently, in Tayninh City, there are more than 3,400 policy beneficiaries, including 64 Vietnamese heroic martyrs and their relatives, more than 500 wounded and sick soldiers, nearly 550 martyrs' relatives, and more than 200 resistance activists. From the beginning of 2022 until now, the city has paid regular subsidies to policy beneficiaries with a total amount of nearly 18 billion Vietnam dong, in addition to making payments according to regulations, regimes, and policies for people with meritorious services to the revolution and their relatives. The gratitude activities are also always interested by the city and localities, expressed in various forms, from the support funds of superiors, gratitude funds, and from advocacy socials. Tayninh City and its schools and communes have organized many meaningful activities with a total amount of more than 3.8 billion Vietnam dong. In addition, the city also organized to send people with meritorious services to concentrated nursing, thereby contributing to improving the health of war invalids, sick soldiers, and people with meritorious services to the revolution. In addition, the city also rapidly built and repaired 10 houses for policy families and people with meritorious services with housing difficulties, with a total value of nearly 560 million Vietnam dong. From this support, it has helped policy households and people with meritorious services to stabilize their life, continue to overcome difficulties, and develop the family economy. In the past time, the city has regularly supported the wounded sick soldiers, war veterans, and policy beneficiaries with difficult circumstances to borrow loans from the Bank for Social Policies, support cattle breeding, establish clubs to help each other do business. From the interest rate revolving capital contribution fund, nearly 800 veterans with difficult circumstances have supported more capital for economic development. From their gratitude help policy households to improve their life and move out of poverty in a sustainable way. Up to now, Tayninh City has no longer poor households. Poor households are veterans, and more veterans are rising into good production and business, not only enriching their families, but also contributing to income growth, creating jobs for many local workers. Caring for policy families and people with meritorious services to the revolution is one of the important humanistic and meaningful political tasks. This is also an activity to show the gratitude, affection, and deep gratitude of the party committees, authorities at all levels, and the whole society for people with meritorious services to the country, thereby contributing to alleviating the pain of war and educating the younger generations. Children and grandchildren always remember great gratitude to the previous generations for their blood sacrifice, heroic sacrifice for the cause of national liberation and defense of their fatherland. In the coming time, with the responsibility, tradition, and ethics of drinking water, remembering the source, the city will continue to take care of life and spirit and create the best conditions for policy families and people with meritorious services, people with difficult circumstances, rise to economic development, stabilize their life in order to continue to promote the revolutionary tradition of building the city to become richer and more beautiful. That's all for today, TTV News. Thanks for watching and see you next time.